day, everyone. Welcome to the weekly note of GTC Traders for the week starting November the 5th, 2023, or we could call this the weekly note of November the 6th, 2023, the first day of trading here. If you are new to a weekly note, what's the import of a weekly note? Why do so many firms have a weekly note? What's the benefits? What are they and what are they not? If you go to GTC Traders YouTube page and you go to the playlists and then go to the playlist that is for the weekly note, and if you look at those first three entries in that playlist on the weekly note, we really dive into what a weekly note is for, what it is not, just how beneficial they are, and why many firms do this. This is not just me. And this, of course, as a weekly note, this is just something that we transfer over from my private proprietary firm. We decided to do that and package it up for GTC traders. So this is very easy for me to do. I just basically copy and paste what I did at the private prop firm and paste it over here. So you will find it on the website itself, everything typed out nice and neat. Just very brief thoughts on the weekly note. Something I want to mention since our stance has changed. Oh, let's get into that. Let me flip over to a chart here of, let's look at the SPOOs, shall we? So when we switch our stance, why do we switch our stance, right? We're either bullish, we are neutral, or we are bearish. And very usually, I can't think of a situation where we don't progress from one to the other. Neutral is always in the middle, is what I'm saying. In other words, if we're bearish, we're going to go neutral before we go bullish. If we're bullish, we're going to go neutral before we go bearish, right? So we were bearish, and we've switched that to neutral. Well, a lot of that is led by pure price action, to be blunt. Just pure price action. The violence of the move was so extraordinary that we switched our stance, because even if this digest starts to fall, that's going to take some time. You can take advantage of a neutral stance. I mean, heck, look at what we did with selling that TLT premium, right? And by the way, if you're only watching these videos, you do know on the website we're going through a sample portfolio. I'm discussing trades, things, but we're not mentioning that all here on the YouTube channel. So if you go to GTC Traders, let me flip back here for a second, and you've come up here, you can put your email in here and basically all posts will be delivered to you. Okay, so, but yeah, we've been selling things like TLT premium. So there's a whole GTC sample portfolio going on. But anyways, getting back to that chart of SPX, the violence of the move was so extraordinary that we switched our stance from bearish to bullish, right? Or I'm sorry, bearish to neutral. We never go from bearish to bullish. We go from bearish to neutral. Even if we are expecting, and that's purely led by price action, purely. Well, look at what we did with TLT. So I am not really bullish in any way whatsoever on TLT, right? We're bearish. Well, but what did we do last week? With the violence of that move and some price action clearing, what was that, like 85.50 or so? We sold TLT premium. Oh, put premium. Not call premium, because we're bearish. Put premium, because of the violence of the move. Even though we're not neutral here, the violence of the move was so extraordinary. It's like, listen, I'm just going to go ahead and sell the put premium. And that's for a host of other reasons. Remember how the strategies are different from a weekly note. A weekly note's just your bias. Just, hey, what am I thinking about this market overall in a general sense way? And by the way, that also helps, apart from strategy, just keep you connected to know what's going on in world markets. We mentioned that in those first 3-4 entries in the playlist. But listen, it's like the violence of the move was so extraordinary to the upside that I'll sell put premium. Now, if for some reason I did get assigned that put premium, even though I think that it was like, I want to say it was like the 12 deltas. Yeah, I think when I sold it, it was like 12 deltas. So it's not very likely that I'm going to get assigned that TLT put or assigned the shares of it. If I were, there's something called a wheel strategy, and I'm not talking about the wheel strategy, right? But I can, so when I say this, but what I can do is I can wheel that. If I did get assigned the shares in the GTC sample portfolio, I can wheel that into another strategy we have for TLT and continue to make bearish decisions. So this is just an example of we had to make a switch in some of the markets, like on the SPOOs. We had to make that switch on the SPOOs to neutral simply due to the price action. And we can make neutral plays. You could sell put premium and it probably come out okay, right? Or you could sell call premium simply because of the violence of the move, just in sheer delta terms, that you can make neutral plays either way. Now, in the back of my mind, and especially now that we're at like 43.68, look at that. We're right back at that 43.75 region that I was talking about. Would it surprise me too much for it to begin falling back down and eventually we switch our stance to bearish? No. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. As a matter of fact, I'm somewhat expecting that. I guess you could say I'm wary of the price action that we have right now. But for the weekly note and right now, I go with what the price action has given me. And what the price action has given me is us move to the upside that's been so violent that I've switched the stance to neutral. And I can make neutral plays both ways. I could sell call premium. I could sell put premium. I could wheel those into either a wheel strategy or wheel them into other strategies that we have for SPX or for something like TLT, the put premium that we sold. I could wheel that into another strategy, right? And continue to make bearish plays on TLT. But for right now and today, with a neutral stance here on SPX, I could make plays that are very neutral as to price. I could buy, I could sell. I'm neutral. Just because you're neutral doesn't mean you're not doing anything for those folks that are new. It means you've got a whole new array of tools to use. Okay? So it's like, oh, wait a minute. So you're not thinking that in the longer term stocks are going to fall? No, in the longer term I'm thinking stocks are going to fall. But I don't style drift. And so with the weekly note giving me neutral plays, I'll play some neutral, I'll play a little bit more neutral because nobody does know the future. I can have my thoughts about what's going to happen longer term, but that's all they are, just my thoughts, just my opinions. And I'm not even wrapping it up and getting ready to segue into that conclusion where just my thoughts, not yours. No, we really do believe that. No one can predict anything at all. So although I may have my thoughts, although I may think we're, going to fall longer term, it's an opinion. That's all it is. I like how the DTG guys put it. In the end, all analysis, I don't care who it is, it's just bullcrap. So play what you got right now. So in moving to a neutral stance in equities, I can play neutral plays in the here and now, right now, with the various strategies that we have. I hope that makes sense. It sounds like I'm saying I'm neutral, but I really don't believe it. No, I'm neutral, and I really do believe it, and I really will make neutral plays. So am I wary? The discretionary part of me is wary. I'll put it that way. But I'm going to make neutral plays. You could sell strangles here probably and do quite well, and because a strangle is more of a neutral thing. You can defend it if the market goes directional. But I hope that makes some amount of sense. I fear it is as clear as mud. Anytime I get in here and I start to describe the nuances of the way we look at things and where discretion comes into something that's more mechanical like a weekly note, I fear that it is clear as mud. I'm neutral. I'll make neutral plays now. That doesn't mean that I don't think that in the longer term the E-mini is going to fall or the SPOOs is going to fall. And we'll switch back to bearish. But for right now, I'm making neutral plays. Because the thing you got to keep in mind, and this is critical, things take time. Things take time to develop in markets. That's critical. And you can use that time, especially in options, to your favor. Sell time. Sell the time that it takes for markets to start moving lower. Good Lord knows that's what we've done in TLT. All right, so for now we can get to that end conclusion segue. And for now, I hope that has been a little more clear than mud, but it has been simply what it's always been. It's simply been our thoughts, not yours, for whatever the heck day it is. As always, stay safe, trade well, and remember that love doesn't cost a dime.